Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. I don't know if you can hear me or if you're even there. It is time for us to talk Disney. So come on, right here. Hello, everybody. So today we're going to be doing a much shorter episode, mainly due to the fact that my first alarm for the marathon weekend goes off in 4.5 hours. So we're still going to be doing the Wednesday show. We're just going to be doing a shorter Wednesday show tonight. We're going to go through, kind of answer a few questions. Mainly, we're doing Ask the Expert episode tonight, and go through your questions. I also will show the shirts for the marathon weekend. I will not show the bibs, mainly due to the fact that I've already got them set up in the other room. So when I wake up, I can just get all the stuff put on and ready to go. But before we get started, how's everybody doing out there? Also, by the way, I don't have as much energy right now, mainly due to the fact that I've been trying to make myself sleepy. So I've got, as you can see, we have less lighting as usual. We still have a little bit of the computer lighting, and I got another light that's over here. But we usually have another light over here and another light over here to give us better lighting. And today I figured, you know what? I need to get sleepy. So the best way for me to start getting sleepy is just to dim the lights, slow down the body, and get ready for these races tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Hello to the people who are just joining us right now. So if you guys are just joining us right now, we are going to be doing a much shorter episode tonight. It's going to be about half an hour, if that. I don't even think it's going to be that long, mainly due to the fact that I will be waking up in 2.5 hours for the 5K tomorrow. So this weekend is going to be the marathon weekend, and we will be doing a whole recap next weekend, and I'm sure I'll have a lot more energy, hopefully, at that point, as we go through and talk about it. But essentially, I will be doing the Dopey Challenge yet again this year. This will be my 8th one. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure this is my 8th year. Because we got, okay, let's figure this out here. 2026, 2026, 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022. So there's been 5 since the challenge came back. And then I did 2020, 2019, and 2018 was my first one. Yeah. So this is my 8th Dopey Challenge that I will be doing this year. And then in addition to that, I've ran 2 other full marathons at Disney in 2007 and 2017. So I had a 10-year gap. And part of my body's like, why didn't you take another 10 years? Because this is just ridiculous. So today I went over to the expo. Oh, by the way, welcome to the 850th episode of the Wednesday show. I can't remember the number, and I just wrote it down. I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. Hello. So tonight, we're just going to be going through. It's going to be a much chiller episode than we usually do. We have a lot more people coming on right now. Tonight's episode is going to be a much chiller episode. We're going to go through. We're going to show you guys the race shirts that we picked up today. We'll talk a little bit about 855th. Thank you. Today's the 855th episode of the Wednesday show. Today's January 7th, 2026. It is our first episode of 2026. And if you've ever joined us for our first episode of the new year, it's usually a calmer episode, especially the last 8 years, because we are getting ready for the Dopey Challenge. So, and also, as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by our Patreon pals. If you're one of our Patreon pals out there in the chat room, give us an oh yeah. Yeah, so we went over the expo today, or I went over the expo today. My friend Frank, he's Club Run Disney, so he can get there at 8 a.m. I'm not waking up at 8 a.m. I typically sleep in. I worked last night until about 12:30ish. I got home around 1ish. And then I was like, I'm just going to sleep for as long as I possibly can and just try to get as much rest as possible before this race weekend. So I went over to the expo around like 1:30. I have been having a few issues with my GoPros, and I was like, I need to have a good, reliable GoPro for this weekend. So today, the first thing I did was actually went out and bought a brand new GoPro, the GoPro 13 Black. So I've never used this, except for I've done a few test runs over the last 2 hours, just walking around my complex, filming things just to make sure everything will work smoothly. And I think everything's set up for tomorrow's race. But yeah, tomorrow will be the first race on the brand new GoPro. But I ran over to Target. I purchased the GoPro mainly because it was on sale at Target. And then I headed over to the expo. And over at the expo, we picked up our shirts. We picked up merchandise too. I picked up one thing for merchandise at the expo. I purchased the Coast to Coast Challenge shirt, which on the front has the little Coast to Coast emblem on it. And then on the back, we've got this. I really like the colors for the Coast to Coast Challenge this year. In addition to that, I picked up a brand new pair of sunglasses and then a backup pair as well because I love, that's it. I love AirFit. It is my favorite sunglass, and I love the yellow ones too. Just because when you're wearing the shades, all around you can just see yellow. It's my favorite color. It's like everything in the world is so bright and happy, and I love it. Okay, so let's take a look at these shirts. If you guys are just joining us, we're not going to be showing you guys the bibs tonight, mainly due to the fact that I am waking up in about 4.5 hours and leaving here in about 5.5 hours to get over to the Epcot parking lot for the first race. So the bibs are already set up and ready to go. So as soon as I wake up, but we do have the shirts. So this is the Dopey Challenge. So you get a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a full marathon shirt. And then the half marathon and the full marathon is the Goofy Challenge. So you get a shirt for that. And then you also get a shirt for the Dopey Challenge, which is the 5K, 10K, half, and full, which I'm ridiculous. And I'm doing that for my 8th time. So let's take a look at the shirts. I honestly have not even looked at the shirts in person yet, with the exception of I've looked at the Dopey one because every single time that I go through and I pick up my shirts, I always have it so I put one on just to make sure that it does fit, and then they gave me the right size for the bag. But this is going to be the Dopey Challenge thing. This entire weekend is themed around storybooks, so you'll notice all of these are going to be looking like storybooks. So it's going to be the Dopey one. I have no idea which one's going to be our next one that we pull out here, so let's grab and go. Which one's this? This is the 10K. 10K, which we have Chippendale kind of going off and doing some rescue ranger activities. Good luck with your races. Thank you. I'm really excited. I am really excited about it. I'm also, like I said, today's a chiller episode. I've literally been laying down. I watched the movie for the last 2 hours and just kind of I've had this is the most lighting I've had for the last 2 hours, just trying to get my body to be like, you want to go to sleep? Yes, you do. And I was like, well, I'm going to do the Wednesday show still, but then we're going to go to sleep. All right, this one is the 5K. It's an out of space race, the space race with Pluto there and Spooky Robot. We also have, this is going to be the half marathon. Donald and Daisy, True Love Story. What does it say on there? For the love of the race. Aww. Okay, we got 2 more here. This one is the marathon one. We got Mickey and Minnie there. The elusive dragon. And then our final one here is Goofy's race and a half challenge. And what does it say on there? How to run a marathon. Oh, that's cool with the how to 2 shorts, 39.3 miles. Yeah, so overall, I'm excited. We did our typical kind of, we're creatures of habit, Frank and I, and we do the same things before each race. So today we went to the expo and then we met up over at Beaches and Cream, and we got our Beaches and Cream. I always get my No Way Jose the day before the races start, before the whole race weekend starts. So we got Beaches and Cream. I got my No Way Jose. And then we went to the park for a very, very short amount of time, and then Frank headed back to his hotel. I headed back to my house. And now it's just been like, let's kind of chill and relax. Let's go through. If you guys have any questions, start throwing the questions out there. Frank Fam's got a question. Have you ever counted how many race shirts you have? I have not. There's a lot. So today, actually, I was walking through the expo today. So if you watched I did a video about the expo that I uploaded to my YouTube channel earlier today. If you are going to the expo, especially today was just absolute chaos. Like the expo was insane. The merchandise was crazy. I waited for about 25 to 30 minutes just to get into the build, like not into the building. I was in the building, but then when you get in the building, you go into a line. So then I was like 25, 30 minutes just to get into the room, which actually had the merchandise. And then if I wanted to look at dopey merchandise, I would have to happen to another line, which they were estimated to be over an hour. Then I was like, I'm fine not getting any dopey merchandise. Uh, but I was in this line and I'm going back and forth and I was looking around because I like to see what other races people have done. Now, if you're new to this channel, by looking at the people who are typing in the chat room, I don't think anyone's new. You know that I do every possible race that I can that Run Disney does. I think, I want to say I've done every single one in Florida 100%. I've done every single one in Florida since 2007. Since after the marathon in 2007, I have not missed a race. Like I've done every 5K, 10K, half, and full that has been held in the state of Florida since 2007, which is kind of crazy and it's a lot of money. But I like to look around and see the other people's shirts because I'm curious about like which races different people have done. While I was walking through, I counted a total of three people in the line on one side of me and the line on the other side of me that were actually wearing previous race shirts. Everyone else, I wrote to my friends, I said, it looks like they cast a bunch of people to be background actors in a movie and they said you have to wear a non-logo shirt. Everyone was just wearing like a plain green shirt or a plain black shirt or a striped shirt with nothing that indicated that these people are going to be running a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or a marathon over the next few days. So, but I have a lot of race shirts. I slowly go through a cycle of race shirts, and there's some where every now and then I'm like, oh, I forget about this one, and then all of a sudden it enters into the cycle again. Today we saw a guy who, when we were over at Epcot, we saw a guy who was wearing the dopey shirt from 2019, and Frank got really upset because he's like, I was going to wear that shirt this week. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be the only person wearing this shirt this weekend. And I was like, haha, sucker. So also in addition to that, if you guys are going to ask any questions, I'm going to show you guys some stats that I figured out while I was over at the expo today. So if you watch my video, in the video, I did point out that what I like to do is go through and figure out how many people are going to be doing every single specific race. And I do this by going over and checking out the bib numbers. So the bib numbers will usually be at like 10,000 to 18,025 or whatever. And from there, you can kind of figure out how many people are going to be at the races. There are a few different times where you don't know the exact numbers because, like, for instance, today for the marathon, one of the spots was number 1 through number, I think it was like 1,000. And I was like, I don't think there's 1,000 spots in that spot. So it's probably a less number than that. But at the same time, you never really know. So for the 5K, there is going to be, okay, by the way, so it'll be 5K, 10K, half, full, goofy, and dopey. And then I'll show you the exact amount for each specific race. So people who are just signed up just for the 5K, not for any other races, there is 5,500 people who are just doing the 5K only. And then people who are just doing the 10K, it's 6,000. People who are just doing the half and all of the races, 10,350. Just doing the full, 17,250. The goofy is 1,250. So those are the people who are doing the half and the full. And then the people who are doing the dopey, which is the half or the 5K, 10K, half and full, is 8,400. Meaning for the 5K, if you combine the 5K and the dopey numbers, that brings you to 13,900 runners. The 10K, which again will have the 10K and the people who are doing dopey, is 14,400 runners. The half, which is going to be the half marathon, the dopey, and the goofy, is 20,000 runners. And then the full marathon, which will be the dopey, the goofy, and the full, will be 26,900 runners going out there and running around. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of especially once you get down to the fact that we have 26,000 people who are going to be running the full on Sunday. Is just an absolute insane amount of people. But at the same time, it's kind of reassuring. I know that sounds weird, but to me, I think it's very reassuring because when you are running and you are doing a full marathon, a lot of times you're thinking, how far away am I from the back? And a good way to kind of help ease that thought is, how many people have passed me? Has it been 20,000 people have passed me? If not, I don't really have to worry too much about what's going on right now. So yeah, overall, a lot of people are going to be doing this. Let's go through to see if you guys have any more questions out there. We were trying to pick out the runners today at the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, we were doing that a lot today. We were going through when we were at Epcot. We ate at Beaches and Cream, and then we went into the park through International Gateway, went to Figment, we rode Figment, and then Frank's DVC. So he got us up to the DVC lounge, and we went up there, and in that short amount of time, we're like, oh, runner, nope, runner, nope. So it's a lot of fun to kind of go through and try to figure out who the runners are. Are you in Walt Disney World right now, Frank Fam? Are any of you racing? You were here, but not racing this time. You guys are much smarter than me. Let's see here. It's more fun when you don't have to run, exactly, or wake up at 2:30 a.m. Yeah. So the wake-up calls I always say the wake-up calls are the worst part of Dopey. I am not a napper in my normal life. I hate naps. However, when it comes to race weekends, it's the only time I take a nap, because as soon as I finish that race, I want to come back, shower, and then sleep for as long as my body wants me to sleep. And then wake up, go to the park, and then come back and rest, and then wake up early and go to the park and all of the other stuff. Okay, so while we are here, let's do a fun prediction game. Let's actually pull up the thing, because I was thinking about doing this earlier today, and I think this is just the thing that we have to do. So last year on the marathon day, that was the day where I recorded the most steps in the history of my app. And I want you guys to go through and make your predictions on how many steps will we be taking on marathon day, because obviously that's going to be the most. We're going to be doing 26.2 miles of running. I'm going to try to find my previous thing here. This app is just kind of confusing to me. Okay, let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, we're going to do it this way, I think. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so last year on the marathon day, I did 70,025 steps. So 70,025. That's how many steps I did last year on marathon day. Make your predictions in the chat room. Are we going to get more, or are we going to get less than 70,025? And also, just make a prediction on how many steps you think we're going to be taking on marathon day. So my goal is also 17,500 steps per day. According to this, I had, let's see if you can see that there. There it goes. As you can see there, I surpassed my step goal by 400,000%. Just absolutely crazy. I also like the fact that then it's like the next Wednesday, I did not hit my step goal, which I'm sure my body was like, just give it a rest, kid. Okay, we got 68,576 steps. I think that's a very good guess. 71,000 steps. I think that's a good guess as well. The problem is I know myself and I know how competitive I am. And I am also competitive with myself. So I know for a fact that come Sunday, if I'm at like 70,000 or 68,000, I might be like, okay, I just have to do like one walk around my complex and I can get over that 70,000 steps and beat last year's step number and get a brand new step record. Okay, so that's our first one. The other one that I want to have to throw out to you guys is, how many characters do you think we will meet between the next 4 days, from the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and the full marathon? How many characters do you think we'll go about and actually meet? Now, this one is tricky because they do kind of change up the amount of characters. There's always roughly 4. Sometimes it's a little bit more. It's never less. But there's usually 4 characters that are before each race / after each race at the preparation area. And the thing is, if we have met them before, then we don't meet them. But like tomorrow, I know for sure that before the race, I'll try to meet at least one of the characters. And then after the race, I will try to meet the other. Well, not try. I will meet the other 3 characters no matter how long it will take me to meet those 3 characters. But I will have it so I meet those 4, and then along the race course, most likely there's going to be about 4 or 5 that day, and then the following day, it'll be a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. To get into perspective, I think last year we met a total of 62. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was in the. Oh, you know what? Let's go to the archives. We can go to the archives because that's what we're here to do today. We can figure out exactly how many we met last year. If this loads, oh, it's taking its time today. Oh, it's not connected to my Wi-Fi. Connect to my Wi-Fi. I turned it off earlier when I was going through and I was playing with the GoPro. Come on, Aladdin. There we go. Now it's going a little bit faster. Yeah, so we had. I'm honestly thinking it's going to be around 70. We have got 24 as a guess, 38 as a guess. I'm thinking it'll be closer to I think we've never done less than 50 during Adobe. Again, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure we've never gone less than 50. Now, my friend Frank that we were running with, he is a little nervous about stopping to meet too many characters, but at the same time, he is starting 2 corrals ahead of me. So, yeah, I don't know how to take that, but I'm hoping tomorrow I can catch up to him. But at the same time, I don't know how many we're going to be going through and seeing. Now, the Disneyland races, those are usually a whole lot less than the Disney World races. Okay, here we go. We can go through and count exactly how many. So last year during the 5K, we met Pluto, Minnie. No, that's Mickey. the old hag from Snow White, Mrs. Bunny, Jose and Panchito, Ugly Duckling, Dopey, Clara Cluck, Pinocchio, the Big Bad Wolf. So that's 11 on the first day. Okay, I'm just going to start counting here. 12, 13 for Chippendale, 14 for Jiminy Cricket, 15 for Clarice, 16, 17, 18 for the 3 Little Pigs, 19 for the Mad Hatter, 20 and 21 for Susie and Perla, 22 and 23. I think I might have lost track there, but 22, 23 we're going to say. For Aurora and Prince Philip, 24 and 25 for Hook and Smee, 26 and 27 for for Peter Pan and Wendy, 28 for Donald Duck. And then 29 was Darkwing Duck, 30 and 31 was Captain Jack Sparrow and Barbossa, 32 was Baloo, 33 was Cruella de Vil, 34 and 35 was Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, 36 was Will Robinson, 37 was Tigger, 38 was Robin Hood, 39 was one of the Country Bears, 40 and 41 was Bert and Mary Poppins, 42 Scrooge McDuck, 43 Chewbacca, 44, 45 Chip and Dale, 46 was Launchpad and McQuack, 47, 48 was Pain and Panic, 49 was Jack Skellington, 50 and 51 were Two of the Experiments, 52 was Bolt, 53 was Kenai, 54 was Oogie Boogie. So yeah, however many I just said. I don't even know how many I just said. But however many I just said, that's how many we did last year. Okay, but I think we're going to be wrapping up this thing here because I need to go get some sleep. But as always, if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We'll be back next week to do a full recap. We're going to have videos up over the next 4 days of these races. Please, please, please make sure you guys are liking them, watching them, subscribing them, commenting on them, all that other stuff, because it truly helps this channel grow and it can help these videos kind of take off. But as always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Until next time, have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are they gone? But my cheeks are just killing me. I can't stand this kind of pressure.